everybody. If you're watching this on the replay, I thought I would do a live walk. If you wanted to ask any questions, if you wanted to jump on, have a chat. I never go live on this channel, and I thought I would. This is the local bridge club at Clayfield. If you don't know what bridge is, it's designed for elderly retired people. They come in here and play, keep their mind active. So there you go. So it's the Northern Suburbs Bridge Club, and it helps dementia. And through here, if we walk through here, this is the local baseball field. So we'll walk in and out. I'll show you a few houses as we come around. So Australia does have baseball, but it's not very popular. You know, I'd say this would be the only baseball field for, a good an hour drive, let's say. There's another baseball field down on the Gold Coast at Runaway Bay. So it's not popular, but people do play it. So most games that are popular here are soccer for when you're young, rugby league, rugby union, sort of dying out a little bit. They sort of kept that with private school kids. And cricket. Tennis, obviously, and swimming. But as team sports go, the most popular, I would say, and girls play netball. There is softball around, again, not very strong here in Australia for women. I'm just going to come out as soon as I can. The grass is getting a bit wet now, a bit damp, heading into our autumn or fall, as the Americans say. In Queensland, it doesn't really get cold as such, like snowing. That's more down for the southern states, like Victoria, Tasmania. So if you're looking for a winter style holiday, definitely look at going to Tasmania. It's a very historic place. It's a very small state, easy to navigate. Lots of wildlife and fauna there. Get to see the platypuses. So I'm just going to cross the road here. Across the road, and I'll show you this large house, and then I'll bid you all farewell. If you've caught this on the replay, let me know below and I'll do a few more. Allows me to walk around a little bit. And if you're wanting to know the time, there is a bit of traffic around. It's 7:15, and obviously all these people are heading off to work. I'm not working today. So most of this area is quite old. With any house, I think, built before 1940, they're not allowed to demolish it. They have to renovate it. And most of these houses then get put up on stilts. So this is another open space. Thank goodness for town planning. Even though I can smell someone smoking. So it's called Burnie Park. It was gifted to the residents of Brisbane in 1947. He was from Ireland, and he had a successful department store in Fortitude Valley in the 20th century, and he was in the Queensland Legislative Council from 19 to 1922. He served on many boards. The offer came from Mr. Burnie's daughters, Madame Hooper, Douglas, Neil McCrossan, Murphy and Jay Hennessy. So I'm just going to stop recording as we head up past this large house. There's a very big historic house here. I will put in the description box a link about this house. When I return home, large house. They have renovated the back. They've added the back on. They've got, what you can see from the gates is lots of statues. They have got town planning to put in a fountain at the front. I'll show you. Anything done with this older house needs to be approved by council because of the historic nature of it. So as you can see, it's quite a big house. Very unusual in Australia. And there's the older ones that are being done up, lifted up, or they've been designed to build to appear heritage. So you can see this big house here. Go around the corner. So this is Derby Street. We've got the Australian flag. If you do have the Australian flag, you need to be mindful of when to have it at half-mast. I know it was half-mast last week for Shane Warne's state funeral, but you can just see the top of this house here. You'll be able to see it through the gate. And see how they've added the gargoyles there. So it's quite an older house. It's a pity with the sun, the reflection doesn't help recording. And there's a fountain over there as well. So as you can see, it's quite old, historic. And it's been in the family for a very long time now. I'd say about 30 years. Good morning. So we're walking around Clayfield, which is an older suburb of Queensland, in the neighbourhood. The streets are quite wide, as you can see. And these are the houses that I was talking about. The ones that are old, they can't be demolished, but they're allowed to be raised off the ground. So this house here, in its time, it would have been raised off the ground in order to be renovated and built in underneath. So I'll just take you around this side here. As I always do with anything that I walk around the streets, if I see anything for sale, I do put the details below. So here's a perfect example. This house here, this will definitely be sold, and it will be lifted up to be as high as this one. So they've got usability underneath, and because you're not allowed to demolish anything built before the 1940s. So these properties here, they go all the way back. They're very, very big plots of land, and you're looking over well over the $2.5 million mark. So there you go. Here's an example. This one itself, even though it's old and not done up, this will sell for well over $2 million. And then someone will buy it, they'll renovate it, and it'll be then worth 3 to 4. So these ones are all the same. But we are on a downturn with the market. It is going down. A lot of people fear of missing out. They wanted to move up to Queensland because we didn't have the, thanks for the thumbs up, we didn't have the COVID. We were in full lockdown up here. And a lot of people from the southern states moved up here, but I think they'll go back. It's a different lifestyle, very laid back. And, you know, people miss what they're used to, the shops and the cosmopolitan vibe. There's not much of that here in Queensland. So you can just see these houses. So a lot of people probably move back to Melbourne or to Sydney. The houses seemed relatively cheap here. And they push the market up, but there's not many jobs here. There's not much big industries up here in Queensland for work, and that's what sort of stops a lot of people from going back. They can't find a job. Back in 2019 there was a report done, or a newspaper report, and that's what it was stated. Say 100,000 people moved here, about 70,000 moved back, which is huge, 70%. so it's a huge amount. So I'll just take you up around here. So around these little areas here, you find little cafes, and they would have been, in its day, little grocery stores. And as we know, worldwide, the big grocery stores just took them out of business. But how things change, I'm sure people would love them now. So I'll just take you up here. Oh, Linda, you love all those houses? Yeah. And the gardens are beautiful. So I'll just take you up to the corner here. Then I'll bid my farewell and off on a morning walk. So here's an example of a shop that would have been a news agency or a grocery where they sold groceries, fruit and veg. People walked to it, obviously. Not many people had cars when this area was established, and now they've made it into a real estate office. So this just gives you an example of what it would have been. But anyway, guys, I hope that you enjoyed this short walk. Don't forget to click on the like and subscribe, and I'll see you again. Perhaps every Monday I might do a longer walk in a different area.